So we're a College of General Further Education. We have about 2,800 full-time students and about 6,000 part-time students. Previously, our strategy for observation and development of learning, assessment and teaching was very hierarchical. It was very top-down. It was very traditional in terms of observers went in and almost told teachers how it should be done. And we moved away from that to try and create a more professional environment. The professional standards became the core criteria around what our high expectations were of teachers, trainers and assessors, and it was up to them to take professional responsibility for their development.
We rebranded our CPD model to be CPL, Continuous Professional Learning. This fitted in with our strategy far better. All of our practitioners undertake the self-assessment from the ETF professional standards. We use Microsoft Forms to do this because we found it gives us better analysis with the back-end data it produces. After completing the self-assessment, all of our practitioners then have a personalised action plan which fits into our CPL pick and mix model. P for pedagogy, I for industry, C for core.
For example, at the start of my ATS journey, I used the self-assessment against the professional standards and feedback from my learners and manager to create a personalised CPD. This highlighted I really needed to focus on improving the use of technology within the classroom and developing the students' English and math skills within their vocational context. I worked towards this by developing the use of ICT that was beyond what I was usually used to. So things like your blend space and your Kahoot, I wanted to sort of take it up a level.
So this summer we have created a research group. People are really interested in research within our organisation, but nobody really knows what other people are doing or how to go about it. We've got approximately 52 people, I think, now in the group, and we meet fairly regularly, as often as we can, and talk about things that are going on in our classroom, things that we're changing, so it might just be very small things and looking at the impact.
A real highlight of our CPL model has been the industry element. What this has enabled is our practitioners to go back into industry. A large number of those teachers have probably not been back into industry for quite some time.
I introduced Microsoft Teams, which the learners found really beneficial as they were able to engage in pre-learning prior to the lesson, which meant the learning within the lesson was much more of a deeper quality.
The impact for our learners is that our teachers are coming back with current, fresh industry knowledge. The connections the teachers then making back in industry allow them to invite guest speakers back into the classrooms. The learners then get to hear these current voices of the employers, which potentially could be their employers in the future.
Using the professional standard self-assessment allowed our practitioners to reflect on the 20 standards in a very safe environment, knowing that it wasn't linked to any performance management, with them being able to be honest and frank about their strengths but also their areas for development.
So this model has really enabled me to take ownership of my CPL needs as opposed to it being driven by the senior leadership team. This has made it much more beneficial for my practice, and I've really seen a personal development and an impact on my students.
Just by using the professional standards, it pushes you. It's pushed me out of my boundaries and my comfort zone, and really started to look at the things that aren't very nice, and the ones we try to avoid. So by using those professional standards, things like collaborate, research and evaluate, it's been really important for me to drive me forward and to try and improve.
From implementing the strategy, we have learnt that it isn't an exact science, and some areas actually decline in their overall scores. So when the professional standard self-assessment is repeated, they are showing to be more critical and less confident in some areas where previously they had greater confidence. This has produced spiky profiles in some of the areas, so it's quite important that we're mindful of that.
The vision I have for our learning, assessment and teaching is to walk into every classroom and workshop and see good or extraordinary teaching and learning going on, and we're not there yet, so there's work to be done. So we want to accelerate the change and we want to be extraordinary. It's one of our strap lines.